podcast never felt this great. Tables, ladders, chairs, they tell it all, from the highest highs to the lowest fall. Great and glory tales from the ring, every chant, every cheer they'll bring. Devon and the Duke bring the heat, wrestling tales knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never felt this great.
Brothers and sisters, welcome back. Welcome back to another fantastic edition of the Devon The Duke podcast. This is a limited edition series hosted by your main man, Duke Loves Wrestling, and of course, the five-time Hall of Famer, legitimately an icon, a legend, and word on the street, a good guy. We're talking about the one, the only brother, Devon Dudley. How you doing there, Devon?
Good. Not bad at all. How about yourself?
Brother, I'll tell you right now, man. If I complained, I'd be taking advantage. I got food in my belly, the lights are on, and I'm still walking on this earth, so I guess I'm doing all right.
No, that's what people have to understand. As long as you have a roof over your head, food on the table, clothes on your back, don't complain.
Don't complain, man, because it could all be taken away just like that. You know what I mean? That's just the truth of it. That's just the truth of it. You know what I find? I find interesting, and I enjoy it when it happens, and it happens damn near every day. The amount of people who reach out and genuinely say, "Hey, man, Devon is a really good guy. Like, I met him at such and such, or, I saw him here and I talked to him and this and that. He's a really good guy." And it's so interesting how people feel compelled to say that out loud. Like, it's a thing that matters enough to them that they want to share it. And it makes me realize, wow, how many not so good guys do you run into who are celebrities, where when you finally come across a good guy, it's something that you want to actually tell other people about. So it's interesting, man. I mean, how does it feel? How does it feel to continue to have that type of reputation?
Well, I like to keep it because I've been in this business long enough to know how it can change overnight. And it's just
true.
something that always seems to be the case. It's so funny how people can have their own opinion on how other people are, but yet, the ones that reject what they're saying is the ones that need the most help. Those are the ones that cause the most, mischief, and then they wonder why their reputation is the way it is.
Great point. And in addition to that, we're all just one cell phone video or one negative review away from the world believing that we're not such a good guy, right?
Oh, especially on social media.
Yeah, it's true.
Especially on social media.
I bring this up because Asuka, I'm going to say it. She's a WWE legend. We can say that. She's won so many titles. She's accomplished so much. I love the way that she wrestles. I love the person that she expresses herself to be online. When she's doing things other than wrestling, she has a really interesting YouTube channel where she's eating different snacks and playing video games and stuff. She's a cool person. I like her vibe. She was online because she's been out injured, so she has some time, and she's been interacting with the fans and stuff. And I think she finally has gotten her translator as accurate as it can be. So she's making, she's communicating a lot more recently than ever before. But I'm going to throw this at you because she posted this earlier today. And I quote, "I just learned about the existence of a review site called Cage Match. I've never actively searched for wrestling information online. aside from occasionally seeing it pop up on my Twitter timeline. To be honest, I'm not interested in anything that I don't experience in real life. I've never thought about changing my wrestling style based on fan opinions. The only thing that matters to me is whether my creativity works or not. That's why I never bother checking how my matches are rated by the public. That sounds like a massive hassle. I've never even thought about doing that before. What I do think about after a match is what delicious food I'm going to eat tomorrow. End quote.
Is this
So I want
Oscar
to get,
talking?
yeah, that's Oscar. That's on her Facebook. I mean, excuse me, her Twitter account, and this is not unlike what she's been tweeting recently. She's really been letting fans know that she doesn't care about the dirt sheets. She doesn't care about websites like cagematch.net, which track matches that wrestlers had and fans, they rate the matches and all this other stuff. She's letting the fans know that, look, if you want to interact with me about life and video games and food, things that I'm actually interested in, fine. But telling me how to wrestle and letting me know that I only got a 2-star match according to Meltzer and shit, like, I don't care about that stuff. That's the gist of what she's been saying to people recently. So I want to get your
Good
take
for
on
her.
that, Devon. Yeah, right?
Well, good. I don't think anybody should be worrying about what the fans say or dirt sheet writers say, because they're all full of shit. Listen, if they could do what you do, then they would be there doing it, but they can't. So they live vicariously through people who are in the business. And the thing about it is, if you're going to be a mark, then know your place, know your role.
Well, now I was going to say, there's a fine line between being a consumer and pointing out what you like, right? I don't like flippy matches and stuff like that. Every now and then it's okay, but for the most part, I want matches that tell a story. That's what interests me, right? There's a difference between saying something like that and then going down the line of, oh, that was a 1-star match and this one sucked and this and this. And it's like, who the hell are you again? What?
Hmm. If you've never done anything in the business, nowhere near what that person should be, then don't open your mouth. It's just as simple as that. Don't open your mouth. You have no right to say anything. And that's the way I feel. Don't that this person sucks, that person sucks. I'm sorry. You're nowhere near the level that he's on. Someone once told me, and it stayed with me for a while, and I thought about it. They said, think about it. The guys in the NBA, the ones who sit on the bench, who never really get to see time, they're real good. But just think about how good the person who's starting or go in and out of the games realize how good they are. So the people that are sitting on the bench, it's just unfortunate. They're great, but they got people that are even better than them. So, they don't just put people who sit on the bench all the time. They don't just have them on the team just to fill up space. They just wasn't good enough to replace the guys that are on first string or second string.
I've been fortunate enough that I've been to basketball trainings during summer camps when I was a youngster with guys like Dana Barros taking the time to come and show us, basic dribbling and things like that. Dana Barros, he was a starter for the Boston Celtics and he played for a bunch of other teams or what have you as well. But you're absolutely right. Now, listen, Dana Barros was never Michael Jordan. He was never Charles Barkley.
No,
He was never Larry Bird.
listen, there was only one Bird and one Magic and one Michael.
Yeah. But Dana Barros was better than everybody else walking in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts at that time.
Hmm.
Like, come on. You know what I mean? So you're absolutely right. It's like we have no idea how great a person has to be just to even get on the bench. Never mind be a starter and a superstar or a legend.
Let me just say this. I saw the match between Gunter and Tozawa this past Monday. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Gunter is very, very good. No question. But people don't realize how good Tozawa is, how he added to that match. And I always said people like Tozawa and Funaki and Tajiri, and they happen to be all three Japanese wrestlers. But how good they are! They might not have been The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin, but they were good at what they did in terms of making people look good. That match between Gunter and Tozawa, my God, it was my hat went off even more to Tozawa. That's how good he is. He made Gunter look like $1,000,000, even though Gunter didn't need it, but he still made him look like $1,000,000.
And this is somebody in Tozawa that you actually have been an agent for, so you know firsthand, top to bottom, how good that guy is.
Well, I agent Tozawa when I was a producer, and I worked with him as talent. Some of my best matches, yes, they were with the Hardys and Edge and Christian, but single match wise, I've had single matches with The Rock. I had single matches with Orton and Cena, but nothing compared to Funaki. Funaki was one of a kind.
What was it so much about Funaki that makes you say that? I mean, was it just the fact that he understood his role and how to keep himself
Well,
over enough to get you over?
not only did he understand his role, but he was very good at his role. He knew how to put other people over and make himself and make them look good, but he also knew how to make himself look good in the process of it.
Deep. Deep. Because if you beat a nobody, you beat a nobody. So what? But if you beat a guy who is somebody and is able to keep himself somebody, then that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Deep.
I agree 100%.
Well, definitely shout out to Sho Funaki, shout out to Tajiri, shout out to Tozawa. You know, you guys, and shout out to Asuka. I mean, legitimately, these are legends in their own right on many different levels there. And I'm proud of Asuka in particular for speaking up and letting these fans know that they're overstepping their bounds, and she ain't gonna put up with it. I love it. Talk your
No.
stuff, sister.
Mm-hmm. Not to
Talk your
mention,
stuff.
you know, in terms of Oscar, I was a big fan of Oscar's. And when I saw her stuff in Japan, I was even more bigger fan because how good Oscar really was. Oscar is Oscar is very good. And
You know what
Oscar's a
I'm?
killer.
Well, she is. She's tough as nails. No two ways about it. And I always pick up on the fact that if she gets stiffed in the ring, she's gonna stiff you right back, and you're gonna feel it.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
If you hurt Oscar, Oscar gonna hurt your back. There's no question.
Yeah, she ain't playing that, and I love that about her because that's the way it should be. You know, respect has to be the foundation of everything. Let me ask you this
Yep.
because I am curious about this, Devon. Oscar's not some skinny, you know, big-breasted blonde. She's not a diva. She's an actual wrestler, gorgeous as hell, obviously, but she's also
Mm-hmm.
one of the best wrestlers on the roster and has been everywhere she goes. She won a lot of championships throughout her career, and she's been featured as a top star throughout and what have you. A lot of people would say Vince McMahon, you know, the way that he would book people, he would only go for a particular aesthetic. Yet Oscar accomplished so much in her career while Vince was in charge. What do you make of that?
Well, I think Vince knew just exactly how good Oscar was and is to this day. There's nobody that you'd have to fill some big shoes in order to be anywhere near in the same category as Oscar. Oscar is just that good. And that's what a lot of people don't get or understand how good Oscar really is. And, I was always a big fan of hers. And, I was really impressed by her work and what she was able to do. She was just a phenomenal wrestler and a phenomenal individual. Very sweet girl, very kind, loves her family, very respectful. I got nothing but good words for Oscar.
Well said. Well said. Again, shout out to Oscar. You definitely check out her YouTube channel when you get a chance, folks. If you want to see something that's just completely different from what most would expect, because she's not she's literally trying snacks and going shopping and showing her experience and what have you, and making different foods, maybe stuff she's never tried before. It's just interesting to get a glimpse into this person's life and see that they're a pretty normal human being. You know what I mean? It's the same notion like with you, Devon, where people love the life lessons that you're always instilling. You know what I mean? You can't help yourself. You're gonna give life lessons when you're talking and what have you, and it's always stuff that's worth paying attention to. The man behind the persona, it's awesome. So that's good stuff there. Speaking of good stuff, congratulations to TKO, the parent company of WWE and UFC. They just put out their full year 2024 results, and also their fourth quarter results for 2024. And listen, the main idea here is revenue of $2.8 billion, billion with a B, net income of $6.4 million, adjusted EBITDA of $1.25 billion. So the main idea is when they purchased WWE late in 2023, that resulted in a loss on their books, right? They were actually negative because you made a big purchase. Well, they've recovered all of that money within a year and added on top of it. So they got a 67% revenue increase and all just crazy, crazy stuff overall, which translate into these guys are doing something right. The way that they're running the WWE, the way that they're running UFC, which really is let the people with the experience, Dana White and the UFC's example, and Nick Khan and Triple H combined in the WWE's case, let the people with experience do what they do best and just get the hell out of their way. Assist them with what they need assistance with, especially on the business side. But other than that, just get out of their way because they
Yeah.
know what they're doing. And when you do that, just watch the money continue to stack. So what do you think about that there, Devon? Just TKO continuing to show that they know how to make money.
Well, the bottom line is, if they're making that much profit, can you please start giving comp tickets back? Can you please lower the ticket prices for WrestleManias and all these other events? Good God, it's almost impossible now to afford to go to a WWE show.
Yeah, we're reaching that level, because they've reduced their house show schedule, so they're not touring as much on the house show front. So because of that, you can charge more when they finally do, show up in your area. But like you said, we're starting to get to a point where we're pricing a significant amount of the fans out, and that's never fun to see.
Yeah.
The comp you brought up the comp tickets, so I got to ask you this because on a personal level, what's the story with the comp tickets, man?
Well, apparently, they don't give any more comps anymore. Um, and if they do, it's got to be real special somebody. Like the football players, the rappers, things like that. But for ordinary people, yeah, they don't do it anymore.
So previously, when I say previously, I'm not talking back in the day. I'm talking, let's say, within the past 6 years, let's say.
Hmm.
Based on what what's normally been the policy before it changed?
Well, you call the office or what have you, say, hey, you mind if I get like 3 comp tickets for somebody? Sure, no problem. What's the names? Leave them at will call. They don't do that anymore.
Wow. Wow. I mean, hey, why give it away if you can sell it and somebody's going to pay for it? I guess that's the idea, right?
And that's from a business aspect. Absolutely.
Well,
You can't fault them on that.
nope. Nope, not at all. Not at all. And listen, it's not as if live event ticket sales are that big of a deal for the company. I mean, they're making their money primarily off of their television deals and now their brand partnerships. I mean, they got sponsors on the mats and on the ring posts and all over the place. They're doing all of these different deals. They're expanding. They're doing shows on Tubi now. They're going to be expanding with Netflix. They're on A&E. It's like they have all these different revenue streams that are happening at the same time, which is all new money, by the way. This is not stuff that they were doing before. So there's still a lot more juice to squeeze out of that, even if the ticket sales start to go south because they've kind of priced people out. Um, it's just fascinating to watch the business of WWE and now their parent company TKO. It's fascinating to see the shifts that they do in order to continue to be able to say, hey, we made record profits again. So I don't know, but I'm with you, brother, because those average ticket prices are a little steep. They're a little steep.
Man,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't wrestle no more, and I got kids, so I'm just saying. I'm trying to
Well,
make $1 out of 50 cents.
and you can't just say I got kids. You got a whole damn basketball team of kids, man. So you out what $2-3 grand if you were to try to take the whole family to an event, right?
Yeah, now we watch it at home for Netflix, $8.99. You won't see
Listen,
my black ass there. I tell you that much.
the beer and the food is a lot cheaper at home anyway. So it is what it is.
That's why you got to pay for the tickets, pay for the parking, and
Whew.
just pay for the food and the drinks and all of that. Because Junior, if Junior's a big one, he's gonna be asking for 2 and 3 and 4 hot dogs.
Bro, at a WWE event here in Boston, right? Even if it's just a Raw or something like that, the average cost for one hot dog is around $10. $10 for a single hot dog, man.
Yeah, that's fair, man.
That is absolutely insane to me. And I'm not even talking like a chili dog or one of them fancy joints. I'm just talking about a hot dog on a bun. Put your own condiments on top of it. That over there at the open station where the onions and the sauerkraut and all that stuff is. But $10 for a damn hot dog? Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's the way.
Come on.
That's the way it is at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, they didn't check your bag when you came in like that. But
Mm.
I remember my mother used to make all of these sandwiches, put them in her, what we thought was her purse, and it was her soup cooler. She would hide all the food up in there and all the snacks and the juices. Walk in there, we wouldn't have to buy anything. But of course, you see that popcorn running by, the cotton candy or what have you, and you wanted it.
Sure. Sure. And you had to have a souvenir cup, especially if it was the hologram cups. You remember those, right?
Hmm.
You had to come home with something now.
That was it. That
Wow.
was at least $15 right there, $15 to $20,
Easily. Yeah. Yeah.
just because it was the cup.
It was the cup. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I don't collect a lot of, I'm not into the collecting the memorabilia, which I kick myself for that because I've had so many things through the years and I've given it away or whatever. I gave all my action figures away, um, for instance. But man, I still have some cups that are like at least 15 years old just from going to live events and stuff like that. And I make sure I still use them, especially during WrestleMania, um, just because it just feels good to have that memory. But if the cup is $20, I don't know. One plastic cup. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a little tough. But hey, regardless, once again, congratulations, TKO. You guys are making money hand over fist. Keep it going. But like Devon said, if you can find a way to bring these ticket prices down, you don't want to price out your core audience. That's pro wrestling should never be a rich man's luxury. So I'll just put it like that. Speaking of a rich man,
Absolutely.
Vince McMahon. There's speculation that he's been calling some folks on the production side who may not necessarily be shooting wrestling right now. So calling different cameramen and people who do that type of back of the house stuff and inquiring, hey, would you be interested if I launch another promotion, a wrestling promotion? Is that something that you would be interested in being part of? So this is starting to gain a little steam here. People are whispering, and some credible people like Eric Bischoff have co-signed this, that he's heard these same whispers, so to speak. So what say you here, Devon? I mean, do you think the industry could handle another promotion? What do you think of that idea?
Well, I mean, my thing is, if Vince opens up another one, who does he have with him? Who's his Pat Patterson? Who's his Michael Hayes? Don't get me wrong, Vince built the empire, but he had help along the way. You know, um, you know, you had to have those minds that pretty much was able to tell Vince no, that he he wasn't it wasn't a good idea, what have you. But he doesn't have that now. Pat Patterson unfortunately passed away. Michael still works for WWE, so he doesn't have somebody to tell him no. So if he does open up another company, can he be as successful as he was when he was with the WWE? There's a possibility he can be, but I just don't know. I don't know. We don't realize how many factors that he had um, in his corner to help him out when he did run the WWE. It wasn't just Vince alone.
Great point. Great point. And how many of those guys are even out there these days? So it's like it's pretty tough to be able to find the creative minds that can help you build from scratch. It's one thing to have something that already exists and they're just adding to it, but to build from scratch on that scale, that's a tough mountain to climb, man. That's a tough mountain to climb, you know. So it'll be interesting. Do you think if this actually continues to gain steam, even before it gets launched, if it even gets to that point, but if the whispers keep happening, do you think that WWE will start locking people down, especially their creative folks? You think they'll start locking people down in longer term contracts?
Let me just say this. I think a lot of people were scared of Vince. A lot of people didn't like Vince and some of the things he was doing. I don't know. I mean, if the money is good and they whatever, I think people would jump ship. It'd be like Ted Turner and Vince, like WCW and WWE all over again. But there are a lot of people that were still angry with Vince and how their career went and things like that. And there's a lot of people in WWE right now that are really singing the praises of Triple H and happy that Vince is gone. So I don't know. I don't know if he'll be able to pull it like that. I mean, again, he might not. I don't know. But I do know, like I said, that he's gonna have to shell out a lot of money to convince people that it's cool to work for him again.
Well said. Well said. Listen, good luck to anybody out there who is serious about launching a wrestling promotion and trying to compete. If you're going to create more financial opportunities for folks, that's always a good thing. But just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, because if you show up and then you end up fizzling out, what was the point of that? You know what I mean? So it's
Hmm.
got to be serious, and it's got to be something that you intend to invest in for the foreseeable future and beyond. So I'll just leave it at that. But time will tell. Time will tell on that front there. Um, Interesting note here. We had Naomi and Bianca Belair, who were the tag team champs. I think they held the title for 73 days, which is nothing to sneeze at. Originally, it was Bianca and Jade, but Jade was quote unquote attacked, and she's been out since then, injured. Nobody knows who attacked her, so that's still a storyline that has yet to be fully realized, so to speak. But Liv Morgan and Raquel, they're now 3-time WWE Tag Team Champions. But for Naomi and Bianca, Bianca tweeted out, "I'm so proud of us" after that loss, which I thought was interesting. And she did an interview recently where Bianca was talking about how Naomi has taught her, take your ego out of it. Take your egos out of the whole WWE business and just focus on, helping others get over, keep yourself strong and get over, and just trying to make the best out of every situation that you have there. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on these two women, not only as a team but individually, Bianca and Naomi?
I like it. I was getting used to Jade and Bianca, but now Naomi's in the mix. I kind of like it. Um, I wish they had a 6-man tag team or 6 women tag team belt, so then all 3 of them can have that. Like the Freebirds did, the 6-man and the Von Erichs. I mean, that would be
Sure,
cool, to have something like
sure.
that. But I don't know. I like the combination of Naomi and Bianca, but I think people are still wanting to see Bianca and Jade go back together because they were very powerful. 2 big, strong women. When I say big, I don't mean in a bad way. I mean in a great way. Strong and athletic as hell. It's just hard for me to think that we would have it any other way.
Yeah, I mean, the closest that we've gotten to something like this really was Sasha Banks and Bailey, which they were the first iteration of the current generation of WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. They were the ones who ushered in the belts back years ago. The WWF had a women's tag team division at one point, and there was a belt and all that good stuff. And that got put to rest. So Sasha and Bailey brought it back, so to speak, and they did a fine job. Um, I really love the way that Bianca has kind of transitioned into an elder stateswoman, where
Hmm.
her position is solid. She doesn't have to worry. She doesn't have to look over her shoulder. She's a legend. You know what I mean? You main event WrestleMania and you do all these things. You former women's champion, now former tag team champion. Like, you're a legend. You're good. You're solid. History has you in the books. So doing what she has to do in order to build up others around her and make that division stronger, and being a mentor, not unlike what Charlotte did for her, not unlike what Natty did for Charlotte. It's just very interesting to see the way that Bianca has carried herself the last couple of years. And the fact that she's crediting Naomi for helping her get her mentality straight and understand, hey, this is bigger than you. A lot of people, they had to do a lot in order for you to be who you are today. A lot of people laid down so you can get over. Now it's time for you to start giving some of that back. And Bianca being mature enough to receive that and then apply it. I just think she's a compliment to the business. I think she's fantastic, and I've always loved Naomi. I think she has matured into a true leader in her own right. And I'm over the moon about her as well, man. So I don't know. I got a lot of time for the both of them. I think they are doing it the way that it should be done. Very unselfish, very secure, and I don't know. I love it, man. I love it because we've seen the opposite so many times, right?
Right.
We've
Yeah,
seen the
we do.
opposite, you know. And it's ironic because Devon, everything that I just said about them is exactly how you carried yourself towards the end of your last run. Like your last five
Yeah.
years in the business in particular, that's exactly what you were doing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it went by so quick too. Good God, it did. I feel
It's
old as
amazing.
shit, but still.
Man,
I'm
listen,
like, God. I'm like, God, can we do it one more time,
one
please?
more time.
One more
One
time.
more
One
time.
more time. And then after that, one more time is over. I'm gonna say one more time again. That's like when
Yeah.
the fan came to me and said, Devon, can you and Bubba just go in the ring one more time with the hardest? I said, yeah. And you know what's gonna happen after the one more time? 5 years later down the line, it's gonna be said again. Can you go back in there? Then again and again. I was like, y'all trying to kill me. I was like, I can only take so much. God didn't intend to us to get in a damn ring and go all four corners and beat the hell out of each other.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive. Because he would have made our bodies a lot stronger than what it is.
Because
Oh
and
God.
I ask you that question because the Hardy Boys, they were on NXT this week. They
Yes.
showed up as a TNA Tag Team Champions. They took on Miles Bourne in Tabian Heights.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. The way that Matt Hardy was talking trash a couple weeks back about you and Bubba and claiming that they're the best and they're going to show you they're the best in this and that and this and that. Now they show up in NXT and they start smacking up some of them young boys. Are you sure, Devon, that God didn't intend for you to go and kick their ass one more time?
I mean, I ain't saying that. I'm not gonna say never. I'm just saying, the Hardys I heard did great on NXT, and there was rumbles on about us doing it again. And I told him, I said, well, we'll have to see.
I think Matt Hardy is yellow. I think he is an egg sucking yellow so and so because he want to go and smack up the young boys. I thought you were supposed to be coming after the legends. I thought you were supposed to be proving you're number one in history.
It's
So
not.
so what are you doing smacking up the young boys? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. That seems like a sleight of hand to me. Step up to the
Yeah,
big
well,
dogs, brother.
you might get your wish.
Breaking news here. Breaking news. What is your take on this thing with TNA? I mean, we've had enough time now. WWE and TNA collaborating with each other, and we're seeing not only people who remain under TNA contract showing up in NXT, showing up in the Royal Rumble, but we also see some of the WWE stars going over to TNA and doing. In fact, Obafemi, who is the current NXT champion, he's going to be on TNA on this day that we record here to get back
Right.
in Moose's face. What's your overall take
Mm-hmm.
on the way that partnership has been going in comparison to the TNA and AEW partnership from a few years back?
Well, I'm gonna say this: Hunter knows how to do it.
Yeah.
Which shows me Hunter knows how to do business, and Tony doesn't. Let me ask you this, and you AEW marks can say whatever you want to say. Without the money that he has in terms of Tony Khan, do you honestly think that he could run the AWA, listen to me, AEW, the way it's being run now? Do you think it would actually be around or even have the little bit of fans that they do have?
No, not
No,
at all. No, no way,
no.
no way.
It's because of the money that's even keeping him afloat right now.
No.
So, I just don't feel like Tony has the business smarts to collaborate with somebody like a TNA to be able to bring forth what Triple H is doing now with TNA. It's all about business, making the right decisions and doing the right thing. In my opinion, sorry, Tony, but you don't have it.
Not at all.
You're not.
Not. I mean,
You're not Hunter.
look, look at what Tony is doing with Ring of Honor. Which, bear in mind, folks, Ring of Honor is owned by Tony. It's not owned by Shad. It's owned by Tony Khan. That's
Mm-hmm.
the wrestling company he owns. It's AEW is technically owned by Shad and a few other investors. Now, Tony argues that, well, that's technically his inheritance money that's being used, so he's an owner too. But it's not the same as what his actual business is with ROH, where he truly is the owner of that. Ring of Honor just
Right.
celebrated 25 years of existence, and listen, I was at the first Ring of Honor show. I was one of the people that they used to figure out how to build that card because of the tapes and the DVDs and the chatter online, and they were using us as market research in order to understand who we wanted to see on that first card. The company today
Mm-hmm.
is a shell of itself. It's a disaster, and it's not worth anything. And the guy
Well,
continues to
again, look
keep
who's
it that
running it.
way. Look who's running it. Yeah, look who's running it. It's got to be a tax write-off. It's got to be built to just be a loss leader, because it really doesn't make any sense. You could make that something, and you certainly got the money to do it. So why aren't you doing it?
I know
It's
people
crazy.
are saying, "Man, Devon, I know Tony Khan doesn't like me at all. And I don't, because I don't agree with his way of doing business. I just don't, and I'm not going to. If I don't agree with it, I ain't gonna give you. I'm not gonna give you your props, especially if you're not good enough. I just don't think
Yeah.
he has it. The
So
only
so
reason
wait.
why he's even in the running of doing anything, I think, and this is my opinion. And again, I'm not trying to badmouth him, but I just don't think he's. I don't think he's able to run a wrestling company. I just don't feel it.
So wait a second. Are you saying that we shouldn't expect you to be getting a Tony Khan hug anytime soon? Is that what you're saying?
No, I doubt it. I doubt it. I mean, look, myself, Bubba, Eric Bischoff, and the number one, Jim Cornette. Yeah, I don't think he likes any of us.
No, no, no. That ship has sailed. Yeah, that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. Uh, you know, somebody told me recently that Tony has heard everything we've said about him, and he's not happy. So take that for whatever you want to take it for.
Look, he can say
So
whatever he wants, but I'm telling the truth. It ain't like I'm not. And he's not
yeah,
happy. Why? Because I said he needs help. I said he can't do this by himself. Am I wrong in what I'm saying? No, I'm not wrong. So you can say
not at
whatever you
all.
want to say. Say whatever you want to say. Feel however you want to feel. But I'm telling the truth.
It's the truth and the whole truth.
Yeah, nothing but the truth. So Tony can be mad at me all he wants. I don't give a damn. I'm not. I don't work for him. Nor do I care to.
Yeah, yeah. He's got to get over
You
it.
know.
He's got to get over it. He better get over it fast.
I mean, again, I'm not trying to disrespect the man, but I just don't care. And people say, "Oh, Devon's kissing Triple H's ass because he wants to come back." No, that's not it at all. The fact of the matter is, I know a man who knows how to run a company. I know a man that knows how to run a wrestling company, and I just don't feel like Tony does. Take it for what it's worth. And I'm not the only one saying it. So you want to get mad at me, get mad at me, but I'm not the only one. So it is what it is.
A prime example of all this is last week, Thunder Rosa. She's coming out to make a save. So you have Chris Statlander, who was in a match with Megan Bain, and Penelope Ford was out there with her. So that after the match, they're attacking Statlander. Thunder runs to the ring. She's holding a chair, and now Megan Bain and Penelope Ford are the heels. So Thunder Rosa is a babyface who's coming out to save Chris Statlander, another babyface. Classic wrestling. We know what it is. Whatever. Thunder gets in the ring. She's holding a chair. She postures as if she's about to swing it at the heels. And instead of the heels running out of the ring, which is what they should have done, Megan Bain stands firm, and Penelope Ford, who's a lot smaller than her, stands in front of her, and it's almost like they dare Thunder Rosa to swing the chair at them. It was embarrassing and unprofessional, and clearly from the outside, and everybody has been talking about it. People in the business, outside the business, fans, whoever, everyone's been saying, hey, that was on purpose. They're trying to make Thunder Rosa look bad in this moment by not getting out of the way. And it puts Thunder in a bad spot, because if she swings that chair and she nails them, when that wasn't discussed beforehand that you're supposed to actually hit them and connect with a chair, now she's not being safe, even though they're going into business for themselves in this moment, and they probably do deserve to get whacked for it. So I don't know if you saw it or not, Devon, but the general concept of putting you in a position like that where people are going into business for themselves and you got to make a decision on whether or not you're going to hit them with the damn chair or not. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, again, it's the booking. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? What are you doing? That's all I gotta say. Like, what are you doing?
I saw somebody speculate that maybe the office had something to do with that, and they're trying to send a message. You know, when she gets in the ring and she's holding the chair, don't bail, stay there.
Hmm. No, I didn't.
It's crazy.
I didn't know. I didn't
It's
know anything
crazy.
about it. But I mean, again, am I surprised? The man should not be running a company. Should give the book to Jericho. I mean,
Yeah,
I hate to say it. I mean, I know you shouldn't give the book to talent, but damn, give it to Jericho. You know,
he's not going to do any worse than what we're seeing right now. I tell you that much. It won't be any worse.
exactly.
Yeah,
Shit, give it to the Young Bucks. Give it to somebody other than him. I'm sorry, it's just not
yeah.
good.
And in comparison, when you look at how hot WWE is right now, it is just insane to see the comparison. There's a new show that's coming on next week, and it's going to be on Tubi. It is the Evolve show, the WWE
Uh
Evolve
huh.
show. So they're bringing back that territory, so to speak, and they're going to be putting kids who are in NXT but who are not getting a lot of TV time. They're going to be on the Evolve show, and Tubi is Tubi is a streaming
Okay.
app that is technically owned by Fox. So it is a Fox property, but it's its own app that you can pull up and what have you. It's free. It's going to air at the same time Dynamite airs. So this is going to be like a head-to-head competition with
Hmm.
Dynamite. This fourth show of these inexperienced wrestlers basically is going to go head-to-head with Dynamite. How do you think that's going to end up, Devon?
He said Evolve is going to go head to head with Dynamite.
Yep.
I think we both know. That's all I'm saying. I just think and I've never been one to be vocal, but this is ridiculous. So you heard that he doesn't like
Yeah.
what we're saying. What are we saying that's so wrong? What are we saying that's so? The fact of the matter is, he doesn't like it when people don't agree with his method. It's like that little kid, that has all the toys in the world. The family's rich. The minute you stop agreeing with him, he doesn't want to play no more. He wants to take his toys and go home. Okay, then go home. Go home. And I'm not trying to bury the man. You know, I agree with a lot of people when they say that he's a nice guy. Doesn't mean that he should be running a wrestling company. I just don't, I mean, grant you, people, he's this, he's that. He's not really a bad guy. Okay. He's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. I agree with that. But again, just because you're a good guy doesn't mean you should be running your own company. You know?
Well said. Well said. Well said. So, Tony, I already knew you listened. So, I'll say hi, Tony. Like I told you when you jumped in my inbox talking crazy the first time, and I said you didn't even say hi to me, Tony. I'm saying hi to you. Hi, Tony. Look, man, we want you to stick around because you're a great source of income for people that we care about in this business. So it's not like we want you to go away. We just want you to actually, show that you care about running a company, improving, growing,
Well,
doing the
let me
things
just
that
say
normal people
this.
do. Uh,
You said
yep,
that he inboxed you a bunch of crazy stuff, right? Because he didn't agree with things that you said, correct?
yep, yep,
Let
yep.
me ask you a
Fact.
question. You think he inboxed Bubba and talk crazy to him? You think he inboxed Cornette? Fuck no, he didn't, especially Cornette. He ain't inboxing Cornette. He might have said some things about him not appreciating what Cornette has been saying, but he can't, excuse my French, and y'all like to curse, but he can't fuck with Cornette on the mic. No way. I don't know too many people that can. And Bischoff? No way. How you gonna talk crap to Bischoff? He might not have Bischoff. had the most successful company that almost took WWE out of business. With WCW. Yeah, sure. He fit, he had his bumps and bruises. He lost WCW. He lost the war. But you know what? He took us all on a great ride. And we can't deny that. So you can't bury Bischoff. Bischoff more than proved that he could run a successful company to the point where he scared the hell out of Vince. And not too many people can say they've done that. So why is he talking mess to you? Because you're actually saying what should be said, because you're actually pointing out things that is obvious. It's all over social media what people think. They love the product, but they just don't like how it's being handled. And that's what we're saying. We love the product. The wrestling talent on AEW is freaking phenomenal. No doubt about it. But the person who's steering the ship is not capable, I feel, and a lot of other people feel, of running it. I don't have a bad bone with Tony. I don't hate Tony. I don't dislike Tony. Tony's never done anything to me to dislike him. Except freaking make me wait around a goddamn arena for 4 or 5 hours to get an answer that I knew that I was gonna get anyway. But still, I mean, I don't give a damn about that. But we're stating the facts. Listen, if everybody has the same opinion and saying the same thing, then we all can't be wrong. I actually liked him when I met him. He was a nice guy, but I just thought I didn't think he should be running a wrestling company. That's all.
and again, every single day he proves you right. That's the scary part about it. Every single day. It's like, what
Mhm.
are you doing this time, brother? Jesus Christ. Anyway, what's the best way that people can keep up with you, especially that huge, white hot YouTube channel that you got? Plug away, brother.
Man, well, that's definitely one way. Thank you to everybody for helping me to be able to get to 100,000 followers in 4 weeks. That was truly incredible. YouTube has actually sent me my plaque, which I've been waiting for, and I can't wait to showcase it to everybody. Thank you so much for that. And the numbers are still growing. So thank you. You can catch me on the YouTube channel at Devon Dudley YouTube channel, or you can find me on Instagram at Testify Devon or Twitter. Check out the wrestling school as well, Devon Dudley Academy, on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter as well. So, take a look at us. If you're ready to take your dream to the next level, give us a call and we'll definitely help you.
Are you seeing any future world champions already? I know it's a little early in the game there with this latest class, but are you seeing some potential there?
I see a lot of potential in a lot of students. We got guys in there that pick up stuff just like that. So they're doing real good.
I've seen some big names, and I'm not going to say any names right now, but I've seen some big names and some big athletes that you got there, brother. You people are really taking to your training, huh?
I'm loving it. I mean, thank God somebody wants to listen to me. Thank
I
God.
know your kids are going to roll their eyes at that one now.
Oh,
So
listen, they're rolling their eyes, sucking their teeth, but notice how they're not doing it in front of me.
yeah, exactly. Well, hey, listen, they better not. They better. One of my favorite things, man, is when you say, "Get your narrow behind over here." I'm saying, Jesus, I haven't heard that in so many years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm old school when it comes to discipline, my friend.
Yes. I love it. I love it, folks. Duke Loves Wrestling on Facebook or on X. Duke Loves Wrestling at gmail.com. As always, let me know what you think. Send in your questions, shout outs, the whole 9 yards there. Listen, Devon Dudley has never been hotter. And the irony is there's so much more on the horizon for the rest of the year. So just keep tuning in, keep checking out the YouTube, keep sharing the show, the whole 9 yards, because there's many more surprises coming. And we'll just leave it at
Absolutely.
that for now. Any big bookings coming up over the next couple of weeks here, or you want to hold on to that?
Yes, I'll be. Well, hold on to it. I'm going to be in Detroit this week at a auto convention. All the information will be on my Instagram. Check it out. If you're in the Detroit area, come on down and check myself and Bubba out.
Perfect. Well, folks, that does it this week. Join us again next time. And before we go, Devon, give us our word of the week, brother.
Sure. When God gives you a new beginning, remember, do not repeat old mistakes.
Woo. Testify.
My brother.
Strictly for the culture every day. Step in style in your unique way. Patterns and colors so divine. All about the perfect line. Be yourself, let your spirit fly. In this fashion, you'll touch the sky. Strictly for the culture, brand so fine. Dress to impress and show your shine. Strictly for the culture, every day. Step in style in your unique way.
Visit www.strictlyfortheculture.ca.
Backstage whispers and the crowds roar. From matching giants to legends of yore. Devon's wisdom and Duke's keen view. Every episode feels like it's brand new. Devon and the Duke bring the heat. Wrestling tales knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never